Hi everyone, this is a demonstration of doing some design sketches of some toy cars. So this this page will have two drawings on it, and as you can see I'm getting started here by first of all drawing in the wheels. If you don't feel confident drawing them freehand, you can use a compass or find something round to use as a template, and just draw the wheels in to begin with. Notice I'm using just a blue ballpoint pen, nothing fancy in terms of equipment, so you should be able to find something like that at home. Hopefully you've got some paper that you can use, either some simple photocopier paper or anything basically white will do fine. If you've got grid paper or paper with lines on it, you can also use that. It's totally fine. It doesn't look quite as cool, but that's okay. It's all about communicating the design here. So you will have noticed that I started off with some very light lines, and now I'm kind of darkening in the lines, doing my outlines, now that I've got the shape sort of sorted out. So I've decided to drill some holes through this car to make it lighter and also easier to grab. Don't know if that's a good idea or not. The idea is to draw things nice and quickly. By the way, this video has been sped up to twice normal speed, so obviously, I don't actually draw this fast. So just slow everything down by half, basically. So I'm now writing in some notes and talking about materials that I'm going to use, some techniques that I'm going to use, what I'm using for the axles and things like that. It's not going to be lots of in-depth writing here. You can always add that in once you take a photo of your drawing and put it into your slideshow. It's just some indications of some things that might not be obvious in your drawing. You'll notice that this drawing is basically now finished, and it's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of detail in there. That's probably partly because this toy isn't going to have very much detail anyway. But keep your design drawings pretty simple, especially to begin with before we do any development and things like that. So here's the start of the second drawing, and this one's going to be more of a 70s kind of Hot Wheels inspired design. We'll see how that goes. So started with the wheels again, and now I'm just very roughly drawing in the shape of the car itself. Here's the engine block, and again, wheels. Again, don't have to freehand them if you don't want to. You can just use a stencil. In fact, you can use a ruler for this whole drawing if you want to. I tend to not do that because I like the look of the freehand a bit more. But if you feel more confident using a ruler, by all means do that. It's not a drawing class. It's a design and technology class. So now I'm outlining my drawing and working out what the actual shape and the kind of the style of the drawing is going to be. And you'll see that the wheels here are slightly different to the wheels of the first drawing. Decided to put a bit of a wing on the back here, and again, it's just a very early design. I pretty much just decided when I started drawing what sort of car this was going to be. Obviously, you might not be in that position. You might have a very clear idea what you're going to do, but still, have fun with it, play around with it, see how you go. So now we're getting into the last phase. So you'll notice here I'm doing a second drawing that draws the front, that shows the front of this car. So showing the wheels here. Notice how I've drawn some construction lines that reach across the page to indicate what the heights are of all the different parts of the drawing. The technical term for this is third angle orthographic projection. Don't have to know what that is. It's basically a way of lining up your drawing so that you can use the measurements from one drawing on the next one over, so that everything stays in proportion and stays the right size. So bringing in the engine block here and the wing, whale tail or whatever it is that you call those things. And sort of finishing off the drawing here with a little bit of detail. Again, I wouldn't even be sure how I would add this detail in if I was making this car out of wood. So, it's a very early sort of drawing. It's just a sketch, but we want to be nice and accurate and neat, and so that we communicate the design idea to ourselves as well as to others.